it's Debbie with Kip's Corner. Welcome back, and if you're new, welcome. Thanks for joining me. I am going to make some mixed media tags today, and I've got, so I'm going to make one for each of the journals that I'm working on. And I've got some base things ready to go and some stuff picked up and cut out. So the first one will be for the bug journal, and I've got some rusty washers here. And then this is from Tracy's, the digital kit. And it's just a little square that I've cut out and rounded the corners and I inked around. And then this is a base. This is a tag from Prima Marketing from a Memory Hardware, I think is the name of the line. And these tags have I'm going to go ahead and poke that hole just so I can see where it is. These tags have a sticky base. I don't use the sticky part. What I typically do is go ahead and glue something on. And so in this case, this is a piece of paper from Tracy's, it's from the paper pad from Creative Expressions, and it's the entomology paper pad. And so I just pulled a piece of that, stuck it, glued it down, and then I added through stencils some modeling paste. It's like a splattery modeling paste. We're going to put some color on that. This one, and so all of these have stenciling on them with modeling paste. This is going to be for another autumn journal, and this is in the kit. Now this die cut has more to it with the foliage around him, but I cut some of it off and just kind of fussy cut around him, did some inking on him, and he's going to be on the base. And then I've got some other metal pieces that I'm going to kind of play with putting on there to go with him. And then that's that one, that's that one. And then this one is from the Toy Story journal that I'm working on, which is the printout kit from Patty Lang at Sacred Mementos. And what I did is on a couple of the sheets that I'm not using in the journal as full sheets, I just took some circle die cuts and just cut some circles out of a couple of the different, or one page actually, and then cut this whole vertical. It almost looks like it's not a clock, but it's some kind of, I don't know, piece of equipment with a dial on it. But so I've got a couple clock faces. I may use one of those on there. And then I've got some round, these are all pocket watch parts, inside gears. And I've got some of those that I think will go around that too. So I have more parts and pieces cut out for this one just because I wasn't sure what all I'm going to use. But for all three of them, I'm going to start with putting some color on the base. So let me get the parts and pieces kind of out of the way and line them up here. Oops, put him over there. There we go. Get this one down here. There we go. Okay. So, but I don't know. I think I'm going to do them all just a little bit differently based on the colors of the pieces that are going to go on there. So for example, on the bug one, I may do a background. I may put some green kind of coloring on here. And then for the tower, with the clock faces and whatnot, I think I may do, I may go more of a little bit more of a blue. And then for the fox, which goes here. Yeah, this is the clock tower over here. Whoops, here. And then the fox goes here and the bugs go here. Fox, fall, bug, toy. Okay, so for the fox, I think I will do more browns. And it's also Memory Hardware, Prima Marketing chipboard tag. And I've got, this is a printout, or not a printout, this is from a handwritten sort of diary / journal that I just put that paper over top, glued it down, and then I added some stenciling on top. And I smeared the stenciling over here. Don't worry, it'll get covered up. And so these two have paper first and then stenciling. And on this one, this is a Tim Holtz chipboard tag, and this is number 8 tag, and that's just a straight stencil on top that I tried to sort of get lined up and centered. And so, so this one I need to, I'm trying to keep my parts and pieces separate. This one I need to put a coat of gesso on first. I have some new colors, spray colors that I have not used yet. They are from Stamperia, depending on how you say it. And they're called Aqua Color, and this one is dark green, and this one is leather. So, I think I'll start with the dark green. Just spritz a little on there. And then I'm going to move that around a little. And then I'm going to actually come in here, let that sit for a second, and then I'm going to wipe it with a baby wipe. There we go. So that's much greener than I want it to be, of course. So we're going to tone that down with some leather. Oh, that's a pretty color. I'm going to dry this a little. Okay, now what I think I'm going to do is dry brush just a little bit of this texture with, actually I'm not going to dry brush, I'm going to use vintage gold and get just a tiny bit of gold on here. Just a little in just a few spots. So very lightly, I'm just going to go over with a little bit on my finger, and that'll just help bring out some of those highlights, especially on this edge. Give it a little bit of a sheen. And now you can begin to see that gold kind of coming through. There. That's there, and that's probably a good angle to see it. So it's subtle. Good, in a good way. Okay. Next up is this one, and this one I want to get a little bit of that kind of orange hue. We're going to call it we're going to go with Honey from Seth Apter. To start with, we're going to start with Honey. If I can get my honey to spray. It doesn't want to spray. Let's see, do I have a clogged nozzle? I hate it when that happens. Let me try now. There we go. Now remember, on this I didn't put any gesso or anything, so this is going to soak into that paper a lot differently than if I had put a coat of gesso on top. So I'm going to get some water on this so they can get a little more even and not be splotchy with it. And now what I'm going to do is just roll it around a little. Kind of hit all those areas. I don't mind if it's uneven. That's actually adds to the charm of it if it's lighter and darker in spots. I just didn't want a spray spot on there, if that makes sense. Okay, that's that. Let's dry that. Nice. Okay, now let's see. Now what do I want to do to this? Let's try some of that leather, since it's sitting right here. And let's try that. There's a little bubble right there. Oh, I kind of like it rubbed. Yeah. Now I have a nice dirty finger. Now, is my fox going to blend in too much with that? No, I don't think so. I could maybe go just a little bit darker if I wanted to. Now what I think I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to go with a little more honey on top of that. So let's get some up here and down here and maybe down here. try that and see what we think of that. Oh, that is starting to really look pretty. Nice. Ooh, that's pretty. Now what do I think of this? Yeah, he ought to pop off of that nicely. Okay. So that one is done now. I'm going to use infusions on this one. And I'm going to start with its slate blue. Infusions are from Paper Artsy. And they are a powder. They're like Lindy's Magicals. They're a powder. They have kind of an infusion, if you will, of walnut crystals into the mix of the color. And so you get a little bit of a brown undertone with them. And you also get some beautiful color mixes with the different colors they have. So it's really pretty. One of my favorites is the blues. I've got two different blues. I have a, one's called In the Navy, and this is called Slate Blue. So I'm just going to get a brush and kind of blend out some of those little colored crystals that are still in there. All right, while that's still wet, I'm going to do another layer of that. So we've got Salvage Patina now Distress Spray. And it looks a little bright or dark, but it won't. I'm going to kind of roll this around a little. All right, now let's see what we think about that in relationship to this. Love it. All right, now I may ruin it, but I am going to go ahead and go over this with one little spritz of this Aqua Color in Leather. I do like that. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Let it more fully dry kind of on its own. And then I may come back over it with some Gilder's Wax Paste in Patina and give just that extra little boost to it. Okay, let's set that aside. Let's come back to this one, which I love. And I want to put, I've got these metal pieces. This I've cut in half. It was whole like this. Sorry, my fingers are disgusting. Used Tim Holtz scissors to cut them. And I want to kind of put a couple of them, let's see, does that fit? Does that fit up there? It's too wide to go to the edge there. It'll go off, but I like it there. Let's see, let's put that there. Let's put this one here. This one's, one of these is smaller than the other. This one's smaller. Let's see if that fits. Which one will fit? Neither one of them will fit. But I could cut a little bit more of that off and get that to fit right there. Okay, I'm going to put a little bend on that just so I can kind of see where to cut it. And cut it right here. See if that works. Hopefully I did that right. Got it the right angle. Close enough. Just a tiny bit more. And voila. Love it. Okay, I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put one here. He's going to go here. And I think I'm going to put one more. Let's cut this like this. Got to be careful when you're doing this not to cut yourself. Oops, took my ring off. And I think one more here. Oops, oops, intruders. Let's go to this one. Now this one, I want to, what do I want to do to this one? I want to just start, I'm not going to really, I'm just going to start assembling this one. I'll get some lids on my glue here. I have a huge mess. Okay. Let's see, this is this one. This one's going to be pretty simple. I may, yeah, I think I'm just going to put him on the center and then put these pieces around. One of them's going to go up here as my topper over the hole. And then these are just going to be placed down here. I think that'll be cute. Okay, so this one's going to be pretty simple. I'm going to start with, do I want to sew on that? Nah. Do I want it raised? If I have him raised, I won't be able to go on top of it. Okay, I'm going to put him down flat. And I'm going to use Fabri-Tac on him as well. I'm actually going to let this sit and dry for a minute. And I'm going to come back, and I just decided I want to put a little bit of gloss on this image here with some embossing. And it kind of goes along with that technique that I was using. So let me set this aside for a minute. And let's come back to this one. He is still, whoops, he is still very wet. So I'm going to hit him with the dryer. Two of my favorite Gilder's Waxed Paste colors are Rust and Patina. So I'm just going to come in here with the Rust and just, again, very gently, very lightly get some rust on there in a couple strategic spots. I have no idea what my dog is barking at. Clearly, there's some kind of intruder. Let's get some rust up here. And this has got really light up here. I'm not sure what happened, but there we go. Darken that up a little bit. Get a nice, I want it heavier in some spots, lighter in others. Okay, now I'm going to come back in here with some patina and put some patina in a couple spots. And this is hard to open. Let's see. I should probably wipe off my finger, otherwise I'll have... I'm already probably going to be permanently stained. No, I won't. It'll come off. All right, let's get some patina in here. And I'm just going to hit, you know, just some highlights very lightly. Again, I'm not, I'm not trying to put a ton on here. Got a little heavy there. That's okay. Let's try to get some up here. I say, that's good, and then I just keep going. Okay, I think that's really pretty. Hang on, I'll show it to you. Let me get the patina off my finger. If I can. let me show it to you up close. There, you can kind of see those little hints of patina on there. I think that's pretty. It's got a bit of an aged. What I should probably do is dry brush just a tiny bit. Ooh, yes, I should. Let me get a stencil brush if I can find one, or a stiff brush. Here, this will work. Pull this down. This is colored gesso. It's a gesso base. Whoops, don't tip it out, Deb. It's a gesso base with color in it from Matisse, and this is called Pale Beige. So I am going to put some color on the brush and wipe it off, and then I'm just going to do a little bit of dry brushing through here. Very little. Okay, this one's ready to start gluing, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to do here. I know that I want this piece on here, and I want some metal pieces on here, strategically placed. Right now I'm just going to kind of drop them down. There we go. And I want perhaps a couple of these. This one's cool. Let's see if I can get it going the right way. Maybe it just goes here. I really want to use one of these, and this color is perfect. So let's start that with that. I'm going to roll that. It's going over some texture, so I want to, oops, pulled that right off, didn't I? Would you look at that? That's interesting. The glue pulled the color off. I had a little glue on there, and ended up spreading it with the roller. Good job. And it pulled that right off. So, and it might be because this isn't fully dry yet. So let's see if we can do a little repair job. I'm going to take a small brush and dab it inside of this and see if I can get that back to a color that's closer. And voila, I think it blends in enough that it looks intentional. I'm just getting this off my fingers at this stage. Okay. Now I don't have a huge problem with it, and when I put the pieces on, I'll cover some of that up as well. So it will completely look intentional. Okay, let's put the number 3 right there. Get that straight. Let's start with that. And then I know I want this here, so I think I'm going to go ahead and glue this one on because I just love that. Well, is it that one? Or is it this one? No, I really like this one here. This is going to be tricky to glue because it's just a rim, unless I flip it, but I don't want to flip it. So I'm going to attempt to get some glossy accents on here, and I'm going to lean in towards the center so when it drips on the part that won't be showing. I am going to stop touching this and let that little cluster dry. But this is kind of what we have so far. So I'm going to set that aside and come back to the fox, because he's been clamped down for a while now. Oh yeah. Yay. And he's looking pretty good. I don't know, this is either a really good idea or a really bad idea, but here we go. Let's start small. Ooh, might be a good idea. It's almost like the patina, but this is emerald. So it's got that green, beautiful green. I haven't used this color in a while, actually. Get some on that metal. I don't know how much you can see this. This is old, obviously. It's still in the old tin. All of Finnabar's, Primo Marketing's wax pastes come in tubes now. So if you're in a tin like this, it's an old one. But oh, there you go. Capture that. So I went a little heavier on the metal pieces and just kind of randomly, and then I've got it on the area where he's sitting. I tried not to get too much on him. I did a little up here by his ear, but that's okay. I think he just blends in. That helps him blend into the background a little bit more. So I am happy with that. It's different. Okay, let's put a topper on him and he can be done. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this is the Seth Apter's Wow Mixed Media Embossing. So, mixed media embossing brush. And I'm just going to go over where the bug is, but I'm not going to completely cover him. I'm just going to smother. And this is a technique that goes with similar techniques that I've used on the last bug journal and this one too. I'm just going to kind of just everywhere he is, like that. Not getting him completely covered, going way outside of the lines. And now I'm going to try to do this without messing up the rest of the tag, because I should have done this before, but I didn't think about it until now. I'm just going to sprinkle some of Seth Apter's Vintage Beeswax on here. And I see that I've got some in a couple spots that I don't want it in, like right here. It's just hanging on to that texture. Okay. Same here. So I'm just going to brush. There we go. Okay, make sure there's none in my wet glue. All right. Now I'm going to hit it with the embossing gun, the heat gun. And that should work pretty well. So there he is. Not, not a clean embossing, which is not what I wanted at all. And it turned out pretty good. All right, we are not done, but I'm going to show you where we are and sign off. And then when I do pictures, I won't do them until I've completely finished these. But what we've got so far, all the fronts are done. So it's the backs that I have to finish off. So this is the first one. This is Tim Holtz tags. These are my favorite mixed media tags. They're nice and thick and sturdy, and they hold up really well to moisture. This is, all three of them have stencils on them. This one I went straight to the base, then the stencil, then the color, and then the collaging on top with a little bit of wax paste and patina, and I think I put a little rust on here as well. And so this one is, I just have to finish the topper and I put a back on it because that's not pretty. But this one is done. So there's that. Then, and this goes in Toy Story. Then this one, and I'm calling it Toy Story, but it's really just old antique vintagey stuff. This one is for Bugtastic, and it's based on top of the chipboard is a paper, and it's paper from the entomology paper pad from Tracy Fox Creative through Creative Expressions. And then the printout here is just cut out and inked. I rounded the corners, and this is from her digital kit that goes with the Bugtastic series from Creative Expressions. And then these are all just rusted washers. There is a little bit of wax paste on this one too, and a gold, just in a couple spots. Ink on the sides, and then I adjusted this embossing here and just kind of blobbed it on, which I think is kind of cool. It goes with the bug. Also goes with other pieces in that'll be in the journal. Then this one is for Another Autumn. And it just has a vintage, it was a pulpy based sort of diary. So you can still see some of the writing, there you go, through the background in places. And then the stencil and the color. And I used on this one an emerald green wax paste. The fox is from her digital printout. And I've got a little bit of that emerald green kind of on this greenery that he's sitting on. Got a tiny bit on him, but not much. And then that one will go in Another Autumn. So I just need to put the top and the back. On the back of this one, on the top I'm going to use, I think, this rusted or a rusted piece of fabric. And then on the back, I'll use this green. So that's all I have to do to that one. Then on this one, I actually think the same green are very close. Let's see. Yeah, that's different, a little different, but I actually think this green would work really well on this one for the back. And on this one, I would rather use, here it is. These are all from the same paper pack. This is a little bit of a bluer, if you can see that. So these are the papers I'll use for the backs. I'll get that done, finish the tops off, and they will be completely done. But I think far enough along for you to kind of get the idea. So hopefully you enjoyed that. It was fun. I love creating these mixed media tags. It's a great space to work on because it's a little smaller, but you can still do some really, really cool things. And so hopefully these are all different enough that you got some ideas for yourself, and I've inspired you to go make mixed media tags. So go. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'll be back. Bye-bye.